friends, this is your friend Arun from LiveinGermany channel. So today I'm back again with another interesting topic and also a very previously a lot of people asked these questions also to me. So I found somebody, Livingston, and he found somebody else who is also an expert. Or I think it's better Livingston gives a good introduction about him. So now let me give the mic to Mr. Livingston.
Hi guys, this is Livingston Susanta again. Yes, last time I speak with Arun to find an expert who have more than 20 years experience in field health insurances. Then I find one guy from our company, Andreas. He speaks very well English. We can understand him. For Indians, it's very important the language. That's understand everything. And Andreas Schmidt is one who working with lots of foreigners, for example, Philippines, Chinese community, Indians, and Bangladesh. And this man have also a good reference in Arag. That way, I choose Andreas Schmidt, and I think let's speak Andreas Schmidt really good.
So hi Andreas, welcome. So please give us a small introduction.
Okay, thank you. Hi guys, that's me. It's Andreas or Andy Schmidt. Thank you, Livingston. Thank you, Arun. Just a couple of words to myself, maybe. My international background started age of 17. Then I spent 1 year in the United States as a high school student. Lived in an American family. Mm-hmm. So that was my experience being abroad alone in a foreign country. So I can really feel your situation very well being here in Germany. And through that I learned English, of course, and through the English language I met my wife. Also, my wife is a Filipina. We are married for 20 years, have 2 kids, and I've been always by her side. I'm always at her side if there's any kind of problems here, of course, in Germany. So I have lots of experience with that, and we are here in the Düsseldorf area, so there's also lots of international customers, as Livingston said, from India, from China, from Asia in general. And I hope to be able to answer your questions and to help a little bit.
Perfect. Yeah, I think you have the international exposure as well as you are an international family, I would say, like your wife being a Filipino, you'll understand our problems better than anybody else. And also, again, I would like to thank you for your time, and also Livingston and also Frank for making this possible on your busy schedules. I would like to ask you to give a small briefing about what is private health insurance, so that like for them who are hearing it first time, they have an idea like what it is or how it is different from a public health insurance or what exactly it is. So please, could you tell some words out of your experience? Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's two major differences. In Germany, you have a system of governmental health insurance. It's called GKV, and the private health insurance is called PKV. The private health insurance is calculated by age and by your health condition, and it's not calculated by your income. The governmental health insurance is calculated by your income. Not everybody is able to change from governmental, which is mandatory basically, but people who are earning a little better, who are employed and who earn currently 62,550 euro, but next year it will, from January on, it will be like 64 or 65,000 something probably, because it's rising every year. Those people who are employed, they can choose private health insurance if they want, and everybody who is self-employed, who is a freelancer, they don't need to earn that much money. They also can join private health insurance if they earn less than 65,000 something. Okay. Yeah, but that's the point of how it's calculated, how much it costs. So for younger people like age 30, 40, it's much younger. It's much cheaper, but you have much better coverage. So you only have advantages. You can save money and you have a better coverage in the private health insurance.
That's a really good example, and you explained the feature also for us, like which divides the private and public insurance. So I think I don't want to keep the subscribers waiting for the surprise of how much they can save, but that will be my first question, like technical question, which also will be people want to know. So how much will I save if I switch to a private insurance? Say I'm somebody who's earning more than 65,000 per year, and if I want to switch, how much will I save? So could you tell us please something about it?
Okay, yeah, it depends, of course, on your age, as I said, but most people are deciding for private health insurance, let's say between 30 and 40.
Mm-hmm.
It's also possible, of course, for 25 or 22. It's also possible for 45, but most change between 30 and 40, and then we have different product lines and different components, but you pay as a healthy person, you pay something between 400 and 600, 700 euro monthly. And in the governmental health insurance, if you are earning more than 60,000 plus and you're eligible for this, you are paying almost 900. And that is also rising every year. So the difference between 900 and 400 to 700 is what you actually can save. Okay. Between 200 and 500 euro. But the bad news is half of the saving is for your employer. You save half of it for your employer because your employer pays half of the governmental insurance. But that's also the good news because your employer also contributes half of the private insurance. So you don't have to worry. Okay. So you really have an actual saving, let's say between 100 and 300 euro net, more money in the pocket every month. So that's more than 3,000 euro a year. Okay. And there will be another thing. If you are healthy, more money will come back. We come back to that later.
Yeah, we don't want to break the surprise. Like we keep it for the last, so that people will keep them focused. So I don't want my subscribers to lose the important part. So that was a good thing. Like saving around 3,000 or 3,600 euros per year is a good thing as an average rate. It can vary between person to person. So the next question from my side will be like, how is it beneficial? Like if I'm switching from a public to a private insurance, or what kind of services is it offered? Will it be the same or will it be better? Because I'm paying less, will I get lesser services, or how is it actually? Could you tell a few words on it, please?
Well, all product lines that we are doing actually is all a better level of, it's a much better level than the governmental health insurance. For example, you get much faster appointment with the doctors because usually you call the doctor's office and they always, the first question is, are you governmental insured or are you private insured? Because the doctors also can get more money for it, what they do, of course, and they treat the private health insured people first because they can also, they also have to look, of course, about their profit. So you have a much better coverage, you get faster service. In the hospital, you usually have a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom private with extra amenities. So it all sounds like like vacation now, but of course, if you are seriously sick, if you are really seriously sick and you really want rest, you really want to be alone, it's also very very serious that you really need it and that you have the possibility.
That's a good point. Like we also can choose like what kind of better services we require in a private insurance. Is it so?
Yes, you can choose from different product lines, and then of course, as I said, it also depends the price, 400-500 to up to 600-700. But even if it's the best product in the market, and that's what we have right now, so we have so many inquiries from people all over Germany, and we have the top product. You have a much better coverage in all areas. Okay. You can also, one more thing, you don't have to, but you can also add for compensation for like a long-term disability thing. And in the private health insurance, your income is only insured with like 70% plus minus of your income level if you get sick longer for than 6 weeks. In German, it's called Krankentagegeld. And in the private health insurance, you can insure 100% of your income. So if you get seriously sick, you really can concentrate on getting well again, and you don't have financial worries.
Okay, that's I think that's a very
important,
critical point and very important point, especially as a foreigner. So I think that explains about the services and also the monetary benefit customer gets. My next question, like we have several scenarios of people from my base of subscribers, basically. So there are people who are single, who are not married. There are people who are married, have a child or no child, and one of the spouses is working or both are working. So I would like to know, like at the start, for whom it will be actually more beneficial, like for singles or like married couples or for everybody, or which cases it's highly beneficial, I would like to ask.
Okay. Well, that's also a question, very common question from German customers, of course. And there's also prejudices around. The major difference, what I said, the private health insurance is calculating via age and health condition, and it's calculating for each person. The governmental health insurance is calculating from the income, and the whole family is insured. If, for example, if only one spouse, if the spouse is not working and there's kids, it's all included, but of course 900 euro. And as I said, between 400 and 700, depending on the product and also depending on the deductible. You can also add a deductible. It's also possible for 2 people, of course, for 2 adults. It's also possible for 2 adults and 1 kid. What is getting more and more financial difficult, of course, if you have 3 or 4 or more kids. So because, I mean, kids are only between 100 and 200 euro. They are not 400 to 700. But then if you would add that up, of course, let's say 400 for the 2 adults, times 2 times 100 for the 2 kids, then it's already a little bit more investment, but you also have a much higher quality of coverage, and most especially if you have a family. I have 2 kids myself. You all want the best coverage for your family, of course, in case something happens. So let's sum it up. Single, of course, beneficial first. Singles is the best, of course, but also if both people are working, of course, if there's double income, and if there's 1 or 2 kids, no problem. Of course, if both parents would work, you could also have 3 or 4 kids. But of course, somebody has to take care of the kids. But so if it's more than 3 or 4 kids, it's better to stay in the governmental health insurance, and then you can do an additional health insurance that's called Krankenzusatzversicherung. That's less than 100 euro.
Okay. I think having more kids is discouraged by the fact finding a kindergarten in Germany is not so easy. So that's also one factor. So since we spoke about, thanks for the point. And since we spoke about kids, I just want to ask, like you mentioned like 100 or 200 for a child. So let me like document it in this video. Like how much is it actually for a child? Like is it also based on the age of the child, and how much does a person has to pay for one child, like for an example?
Well, the prices are from age 0 to age 15 is the same price. Then from 16 to 20 is a little more, but not like 20, 30 euro more. And the best product we have, that's called Made Best, without a deductible, is 207 euro for a child. And the first product we have, it's called Comfort. If you have the highest deductible, it would be something like around 90 euro, 89, 90 euro. So that's a range. 89 to like 207. But this 89 coverage is still a better coverage than the governmental health insurance, a much better coverage.
Okay. I think you don't have to go deep, but this will definitely give an idea to the viewers, like how much it costs for a child on a range. So this is one point. And coming back to the other question, which I had, like you spoke at the start of the video, like this will actually reduce the contribution from the employer's side. Yeah, like the employers also will pay less. And
Yes.
so will it give some effect on the salary, or my brain says like I can negotiate for a higher salary because the employer is paying now less to the insurance. So what is your opinion on this? Like, is it possible, or can we use this as a tool, or just for fun, like? Sure.
It's always my advice to the customer: go to your boss. You know, if you save 200 euro for the boss,
Yeah.
of course, if you have a good relationship to your boss, if you are important for the company,
Yeah.
the company is saving 200 euro, then why not asking if they also can raise your salary and give it straight to you? I mean, why not? It works sometimes.
Yeah.
It works sometimes.
It works sometimes. So yeah, that's
But
what.
you have to do it yourself. I'm not going to do that, of course.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it will be definitely a good eye opener for a lot of people. Okay, I'm losing money which is paid from my employer. Maybe I should get it some way. So it's also a good point to argue and discuss. Or it depends on the relationship with the employer, but it's a good point also.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. And I think also another common question which comes to people's mind, like foreigners, like, can I switch back to public if I go private? Is it even possible because of some situation? Say if he's being a private person, a private insured person, when he's single and then he's having 4 children afterwards, you want to go back to public. Is this possible? It's a hypothetical question, but it's I think
it's hypothetical, but if it's also, of course, important, and it also belongs to a good good consultation, good advice. I always ask the people who are single, what is your life plan? Can you imagine to get married? Can you imagine it? Or maybe is there already a person, or are you planning on it? And you can, let's say it this way: if you're employed and you stay in your job and you stay above the level of what you earn, you cannot go back easily. Yeah, once you decide for the private, you have to stay in the private. But of course, if you get unemployed, or if you change the company, or you do part-time for a long time, not just for 1 month, like you earn less, then you automatically go back to the government system. So let's say there's also an age limit, 55. From 55 on, it's getting more difficult to go back. But I don't want to go too much into detail. I can do that if somebody's having a question. I also can talk to them on the phone, or do another meeting. There is possibility. If you are smart, there's a possibility. I myself, I'm 48 years old. I'm privately insured for 22 years. And I have 2 kids. I have a wife. And I survived, as you can see. There's still food on the table. Yeah. And there's no, once you are private insured and you can finance it, there's no, you don't want to go back. But if there's a need to go back, we will find a way, let's say before 55.
Okay. I think the question came from people who are a bit afraid, like, because you know about the current world economic situation and corona, like what if I lose my job after taking a private insurance in 1 year time or so, then what will happen to my insurance? So that's also one question which actually came from subscribers.
The most important thing is, if you get unemployed, first it's called Arbeitslosengeld 1. That's a period between 12 and 18 months. And in that period, you are automatically covered by the governmental system. So you can go back to the governmental system no matter how long our contract was.
Okay.
You are long-term unemployed, it's a different thing. Yeah, that is like this Hartz IV.
Yeah.
But I don't think most of the people who are watching now will be in that situation, because also if you would economically, if it would get worse and you maybe would go back to your home country, of course the private insurance is, we cancel it right away if you want it.
Okay.
If you don't want it to be cancelled because you say I go back for 6 months and then I come back, it's also possible. It's a worldwide coverage for up to 3 months, but you can prolong it for a longer time, for 1 year first, and then for another year. You maybe have to pay a little bit more premium. But if you are going back to your country, you can cancel it right away.
Okay. So that's a very important point. Like we spoke about job loss and like possibility of moving away if something like that happens. So I will also go with the same theme of question which came, like someone wrote to me this question. So hi Arun, in general, you're not allowed to switch back to public insurance. My colleague was trying to move back, that he is on tail side. Is it possible when somebody goes tail side from full side? So that's another question which came.
It depends for how long, of course. It depends for how long it is. It depends for how the digits are. Yeah. So I think, of course, the person who asked the question, it really was the answer. You cannot go back. Yeah. Because it's not like choosing monthly or the best possible advantage. Because the government is also like saying, okay, you cannot come back into the system after 1 month. Yeah, they don't want to be fooled, of course. They are losing 900 euro for each person. Yeah, and then if there's 4 kids, then they come back. Of course, that wouldn't work. So I understand, but if you, for a long term, before, let's say you earn 80,000, and there you go, and then you go on half the hours, 40,000 for more than a year, you can, of course, you can go back.
Okay. I think it's not going to be the case, but I think these are like very specific questions which came from customers. I'm sure you also heard these questions promptly during the current time. Our next question is also from one of our subscribers. Like he had a doubt. Okay, Arun, what happens if my salary, because of current corona, I change a job and my salary drops below the 65,000 threshold, which we have, for example. Like I'm good employed, I have 80,000, but I am losing my job, but I found another job in a different city, but they pay less than the threshold. So will this have some effect on my insurance? So that's their question.
Yes. Yes, it does, because that's a law. If you're below that limit, it's mandatory to be in the governmental system. But also there, whenever that would happen, we would stop the contract right away. So you don't have to pay double, you don't have to fear. And once you are getting over it again, then of course you can apply again. You maybe have to answer health questions again, of course, but it's also possible to go back then. There's also a lot of solutions what you can do to keep benefits for that period of time. But if you're below the limit and you're employed, you have to go back to governmental. If you're above it, then you can also go right away to private. With a different situation, you have a job, you earn 5,000 a month, let's say 60,000, and then you get a new job with 80,000. Then you can change right away to private without any waiting period.
Okay, I think this is not a common scenario, but it's happening recently. Like when people switch between jobs, they change their passion.
Of course,
it also happens. So since you mentioned about tests, my next question is also something with this. Like I'll just follow the flow. So this was a case, like say I'm above 35 years old. I'm in public health insurance right now. What kind of health test should I take in order to move into a private insurance? So this is one thing which a question came.
Okay. Age 35, you're perfectly fine. All we do is answer, or not answer, we ask you, you have to answer. We ask 11 questions,
Yeah.
and we ask your height and your weight, which can also be tricky. I can say from my own experience, but of course, in your case, it's perfect. And we ask 11 questions.
Mhm.
If there has been any history of any illness or disease, then we ask further questions.
Mhm.
Maybe we also ask if you have documents from the doctor, but we won't send you to a test. We won't send you to a doctor.
Mhm.
That we only do from age 50 plus.
Okay.
But age 50 plus, applying for the private health insurance is also in general not advisable.
Mhm.
Because then it might affect, of course, the costs. It's higher costs,
Yeah.
and it's also higher costs if you are in the pension age.
Okay.
But that's also more deep topic for
okay. So
maybe for the private talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think indirectly you have said like the younger someone goes to private health insurance, they save more, also they pay less because they are younger. Yeah. So this is one.
Yes, yes, yes.
So again, my next question which I have is for people who wear spectacles. Yeah, this is also interesting for those who have children. Okay, you also have one. So how is this cost? Is this supported, or how much is supported per year? So this is one common question I get nowadays from a lot of people.
Okay.
Please say something.
As I'm a person who is also having spectacles, I can follow up the question, of course.
Yeah.
It's good ones are very expensive. Yeah, they cost 500, 600, or up to 1,000 euro, I know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting, it's funny. Also with the German customers, spectacles are always, because they are present here, they are always a topic.
Mm-hmm.
In the governmental system for adults, there's nothing paid anymore. You completely paid yourself.
Mm-hmm.
For children, there's paid something, but also not everything. That's the first statement.
Mm-hmm.
And we are paying, depending on the product line, between 150, 200, up to 600 euro every second or third year. Or if your eyesight is changing. If your eyesight is changing by more than 0.5, you need new glasses. Then it's also paid. But what is also possible in the best products is this this laser that you can laser your eyes. It's called Augenlasik, and that would also be paid up to 4,000 or 2,000 euro every 5 years.
Okay.
But you shouldn't do it more than twice, because otherwise you are blind.
I suppose so. Yeah. So not a good idea of getting money from insurance.
No, but seriously, I mean, it's been around for like 10 years, and we also have a list of doctors, of course, where we have experience, where we have cooperation, which are doing a good job, and yeah, which are careful in their topic. Okay. And then you don't need spectacles at all anymore, maybe, if you are interested in that.
Okay, I think that's okay. That's
and the governmental system is also not paying that. Yeah,
okay.
And it costs for one eye, if you have a good doctor, it costs like really 2,000, 2,500 euro. Okay. And we are covering 4,000 euro for both eyes.
Okay, that's a really good point. I think it's also important for the people who wear spectacles to know that, and now being a lot of people. So yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So my next question, like from the eyes, I move down to the teeth now. So to dental treatment, like do they have to take an additional insurance because they're going private, or is this also the basic things which were covered in the public? Is it also covered in private?
Of course. Private dental plan is much better level. Yeah, in the governmental system, the treatment is basically the basic treatment is paid for 100% in the governmental system. But here in the private, it's not only the basic treatment, but also better treatment. But if you need new teeth, like substitution, Zahnersatz in German means Zahnersatz. Yeah. The other one, the treatment is Zahnbehandlung, that's 100%, but on a better level. Zahnersatz is up to 90%, 80, 90%. And in the governmental system, you only get 50% and less. Before it was 50, 60%. Now it's not percent anymore. They changed it to an amount you get. But let me make an example. In German, it's called Implantat. I don't know if it's the same in English.
Implantation,
implantation, that costs, like, if you make a good one, 2,500, 3,000 euro.
Wow.
And it would be covered by 90% or 80%, depending on our product. But in the first 3 or 5 years, you have a limit. Because we don't want to attract the people who have really bad teeth, and then they come to us and we have to pay 20,000 euro in the first year. That would be unfair to all other customers. So it's limited in the first 3 or 5 years. But if you have an accident, if you don't have bad teeth, but you have an accident, of course, there's no limit. And we pay 90% of it.
That's really a good point. I think it's also interesting.
By the way, for people, like, let's say for also, if you have a couple, you have one person is eligible for private, the other one is not. You also can, we also have dental plans for the Zusatzversicherung, additional, and then you can have also coverage for those teeth things between 20, 30, 40 euro. Livinton also knows about that.
Okay. That's really good. That's a really valid point. I think it's a necessary point also for people to know this for sure. So thanks, Andy, for this previous answer. So I have a next question. Okay, explained so much. Like, my next question is how I can claim the cost of a treatment. So could you say something on this, please?
Well, that's very easy, of course. I know there's probably lots of IT people out there. We have an app on the cell phone for that, or on the iPad, or also Samsung, of course. You just need to take a picture of the bill, and then it's sent to us right away. And you get a push up that it reached us, then you get a push up when you have the answer, and you get the money right away. So it's very fast with technical support, very digital process.
Okay, so it's
sometimes it's within a couple of minutes or hours if it's an easy one.
That's really great. So that's quite easy. So you have an app for it, like, which supports both Apple and Android.
Yes, it's called Arag Gesundheits-App, and you can download as a customer. You can sign up, and then you're connected with all your contracts.
That's good. That's really a very good point. Like, we also prefer speed. That's great. So my next question is something which is common among, like, youngsters who go for gym or sport activities especially. So the interesting point was, like, does Arag support, like, who want to live a healthy lifestyle?
Yes, we do. In some products, we are supporting it, not in general, but it depends on what you do, of course. But up to 200 euro a year is supported.
Okay, that's
also positive.
I think that's a pretty good value, like, for a gym subscription or something.
200 euro a year, not yearly, not monthly.
Monthly would be good, but I don't expect that. That's not, it's too high expectation. I mean, maybe when a person pays 2,000 euros as insurance, then it's okay. I think
of course.
That's a good point. So I think these are all the important questions. Like, last, I would like to keep the probably kind of surprise or something, like the payback thing which you were talking about. So now the ground is yours. You can explain the people, the viewers, like, what it is, how to get it, and how much. So that will be the last question from my side, Andy. So please. Shoot out.
Save the best for last, of course. As we started off, we said you save between 100 and 300 euro from your net. And that's not all. If you are young, if you are healthy, if you're only going to the doctor for checkups, what we always pay and want you to do, of course, and this is not interfering. But if you are not turning in bills in 1 year, you get back up to 2,300 euro a year.
Wow.
in the best product.
That's
Yeah, and for children, a little less than 1,000. How that works, I'm happy to consult everybody privately, but it's not a fake news. It's really, you get up 2.5 premium, 2.5 of the monthly premium, and plus 600 or 900 euro. And so if you sum that up, you get back something like 2,000 to 2,300 euro. In most, it depends on the age and on the premium, but that's worth 170, 180, 190 euro monthly. So actually you cannot save between 100 and 300 in a healthy year, but between 300 and 500 from your net income
per month. So that's an important point. So that's
and don't forget, together with your employer, of course, but then you can, of course, ask your employer again for your salary rise.
We have now points to argue for salary rises. That's a good
lots
point.
of financial advantages, and it's not a fake, it's real, and it's also calculated well. You don't have to worry.
Okay.
And I would be glad to help as many people get more net money monthly.
Okay, just a small question, since it came like these, since you said like when people just go for regular checkups, say in a year they just went to check for a fever or a cold, like a common cold, is then still, is it okay? Or is it like they should be completely healthy? Like, I know it's a tricky question.
Well, they should not turn, there's also the difference between the private and the governmental. The governmental system, you go to the doctor and you just give them the card, and then the doctor is getting the money from the insurance. In the private health insurance, you get the bill. So if you just have a fever or a bad cold, your bill maybe is 50 or 60 euro. Then you maybe pay, you go to the pharmacy, drugstore, you maybe pay another 30 or 40. Let's say the whole thing costs 100 euro. So I would advise to pay that first, save the bill, not send it right away with the app. And at the end of the year, if your bills are not higher than 2,000 euro, then it doesn't make sense, because if you would turn in that 100, you would not get that 2,300. So it doesn't really make sense to turn in 100 if you destroy a payback of 2,000. You, of course, we want you to go to the doctor if you're sick, and that's why I'm saying in a complete healthy year, you save 2,000 more. If you have 2 bad colds, you have, of course, 200 less, but you still get 1,800 to 2,000 back. So it's still very attractive.
Still a win-win. So this is, I think, a common question which could come. So I think this is a very straightforward answer.
And you don't get money back from the governmental system. The governmental system always wants more. The governmental system, because the income is going to rise, and then it's going to be next year, it's not going to be 890 or almost 900, but 920 to 930. And they're also cutting down the coverage plans. So we are not doing that, of course. We cannot do that because we have a contract with you. Our coverage level is going to stay.
That's really great. I think that's a very positive news. And in terms of financial, you also give financial advice for every viewer who's watching this video on how we can save quite a lot of money in Germany using insurance. That's a very valid point. Thanks for your time. And I have a small request. Would you be interested to handle customers or subscribers who are interested to take this insurance? Because I know you're a very busy person. Probably like I worked with LiveinGermany, created a Google form for him. So can we also do something like that? Is it interesting for you?
Of course, I will do that. Sometimes be a little patient with me. I know you always want fast answers. I'm trying my best, but as your day, my day has 24 hours. Right now, as I said, our product is number 1, top 1, 2, 3 in Germany. So we have a lot of requests. But of course, I'm glad to help everybody out there with their questions and also to proceed. And you don't have to worry. We will also in the private call check if you are eligible or not, if it's really an advantage for you or not. And we will take our time. So no, we won't rush you into a decision which would be bad. Only if it's good, we will give you the advice. And if you would not be eligible for it, then we would also give you the advice not to do it. I'm doing it for 28 years. And I never was kicked out by a customer. Most of the times the customer suggests me to other people, and that's I want that, of course, to stay like that, because it's a very important topic. But if you do it good and well, and if you're eligible for it, you can really save a lot of money
That's
and have a better coverage in your health.
So thanks, Andy. That was a really very interesting interview from my side. I think it's also one of the longest interviews I have taken. But thanks for your time and also making this possible on your busy schedule. Once again, thanks, Livington. And also Frank in showing interest, like Frank Nota, for this opportunity especially.
Yes.
So I will get back to you, Andy, like interested people from our community. Like we have around 3,000, 4,000 people. Maybe I'll not send them everybody to you at one go, but I'll just send like those who are highly interested, and then also so that you can help them out. It's very important. So once again, I thank you, Andy, for your time, and I wish you
You're welcome.
my best success and also the good day. And like your background, like alles ist möglich, we'll make it positive and possible in all ways.
We make everything possible. Yeah, everything is possible.
Thanks, Andy, and thanks, and thank you, Livington, also. So
thank you all.
And yeah,
thank you. Thank you, guys.
Day. Yeah. Bye bye. Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.
So
Bye.
yeah.